Absolutely. I think now is a good time to get started. Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Dean Heath, and I am joined by my colleague and friend, Dr. Denise Henning. Today, we are going to be speaking with you about our community college leadership program, among other things. But before we get started, just a tiny little bit about each other. I am a product of community college. I attended community college before transferring to UNCW for my undergraduate degree. And then after I completed college, I got my first real job at a community college before transferring to UNCW to work where I currently am serving. So I think back to my younger days, and if there weren't certain people in my life that encouraged me to go to college, that encouraged me to get an advanced degree, I have no idea where I would be right now, because my entire life revolves around education. I say all of that because the reason that I'm able to do what I'm able to do today, the reason that I'm able to be in this position and to speak to you is because of my time at the community college, both as a student and as a staff member. So I know some of what some of you are going through because I was in your shoes myself. But I'm a resource for you. You'll have my contact information. My email address is right here always. But I'm excited that you're all here with us today. And I'd like to introduce my friend and colleague, Dr. Henning. Dr. Henning, hello, good afternoon, and thank you for being with us.
Hi, everyone. It's so good to be with you. And I, too, am a product of community college. And one thing you can take to the bank is that I am very passionate about the work we do as community colleges. I actually tell people that I have a PhD because of community college, because it opened up access and pathway for me when I was growing up I am from Oklahoma, and I'm from the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, and I'm a fluent Chalagi speaker, and as well as I'm mixed blood, as people can see, but my identity and the way I identify myself is as a citizen of the Cherokee Nation. I also went through my higher education experience, starting out as a faculty member and going through the tenure process, but was fortunate enough to get my opportunity to come back to community college and served for 15 years as a president of community colleges before saying, you know what, I'm kind of done with being president. And I came back to this role, and the role that I'm doing is director of UNCW 3C, which is the partnership between Watson College of Education and the 58 community colleges in North Carolina. And I also am a professor in the higher ed and the community college leadership. And I coordinate the community college leadership and the coaching and mentoring programs. So this first slide is just to give you a little bit of understanding about the importance of what we are doing with aspiring leaders and with the work in community college leadership and the work that we are doing with our partnerships with community colleges. And that is a shoulder-to-shoulder partnership because of the desperate need that we have in the state for people who are ready and career ready to transition into leadership positions. So this slide is actually up to 2020, because that's the most recent data that we have, that it shows that 50% of those that are in positions of deans to presidents, which is around 300 to 350, depending on the positions and the way they identify. So this is dean's level, vice presidents and presidents. It doesn't identify like executive directors and other positions that would report to the president or be considered in a higher leadership role. But 50% of those that are in these roles right now are currently at or above retirement age. And what that means is that we haven't even reached the peak of this. And in fact, in consultation with my advisory council, I have 3 community college presidents that serve in those roles. And this is becoming quite a desperate need. And they're saying over the next 2 years, it's going to become even more sense of urgency. So that is telling you that these roles will need to be filled. And not only do we want to look at this as a state of North Carolina issue, but this is pretty common, a common thread that we're seeing across the nation in the United States.
So we like to start kind of big picture to make sure that you understand that whether you are a face-to-face, an online, a hybrid student learning at UNCW, we have a lot of resources available to you. So our faculty and staff are incredible. They have different areas of research that they focus on. And if you share different areas of passion in research, there are opportunities for you to work with some faculty members. There are opportunities for you to potentially present at conferences, to be published. There are great opportunities working with our faculty and staff. Our library is incredible. There are going to be times when you need specific materials, whether that's for research or other purposes in class. And our library has both a great physical location, but then they also have great online resources as well. I can't tell you how many times during my first graduate program, I used our library for research, but then also our learning center for writing. I was not the greatest and probably still not the greatest APA writer. But when it comes time to needing somebody to take a second set of eyes to look at my writing, the writing lab was amazing. We've got a curriculum materials center here in our building, but there's also one in the library. They also do a digital maker space in there as well. So they do 3D printing, they do augmented reality. We've also got a podcasting studio. So there's a lot of really great resources available to you as a student. We offer a lot of great professional development opportunities as well, based on different areas of interest. Dr. Henning's going to talk about some conference opportunities that we host here in a little while. But as you're going through the program, you're going to be thinking, well, what do I want next? What's next for me? And whether that means you need to revamp your resume, or you need to work on your interviewing skills, or networking opportunities. Maybe you want to climb the ranks within your existing institution, or maybe you're thinking, I'd like to try my hand at a different institution. There are lots of ways that we can assist you through that process. But I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I want to talk a little bit more about the opportunities within the Watson College of Education. So we've got great master's programs. We've got great post-bachelor certificates, great master's certificates. We've also got our doctoral programs. And excuse me, the image that you're looking at on the bottom left is our graduate studies brochure. If you would be interested in reading this, it's available on our website, but I've also got the QR code posted right next to it, so you can actually grab a digital version of it right away. Today, our primary focus is going to be the Community College Leadership Program. Now, this program was designed with you in mind. We had a great group of community college leaders come in and work with us on what are the needs of the community college. We don't want to put fluff into our program. We want to make sure that every course has value to you currently, and as you move into a more of a leadership or higher leadership role. Now, Dr. Henning also coordinates the coaching and mentoring program. And if you're interested in that, that's a different conversation, but that's a conversation that we're excited to have with you. Now, some of you are thinking, a doctorate. Okay, well, I'm really interested in the community college leadership. I'm also interested in the doctorate. Dr. Henning, do you want to tell us what might be coming down the pipeline sooner than later?
Absolutely. So to begin with, and you'll hear this in a couple of slides, but our program in community college leadership is totally transferable into both our master's and our doctoral programs, meaning that you can earn a parchment and a credential of specialization in community college leadership, but it also transfers into our current EDD and master's level programs. However, we have just finished a feasibility study which showed about 86% marketability for us to have what is called a practitioners and professionals focused EDD in community college leadership. So we should see that coming within the next 2 years, that we will be able to accept students into that program. And that's a very exciting time. The feasibility study and working with the committee, we had about 18 members that were on the committee, and some of them are probably some of your colleagues that worked with us. Also, some leadership positions, presidents and vice presidents, to make sure that we were getting it right. And overall, I'm really excited about that program, because I know that community colleges are going to see a huge amount of increase in enrollment over the next few years. And there's got to be some transitions that will be occurring because of that, and because of the change in the economy and the workforce. So.
Very good.
Thank you.
So these are our faculty, or at least most of our faculty in the Ed Leadership Program. They're all listed, but the picture is a couple years old now. But as you can see, they're all friendly, they're smiling, and they're not just doing that for the picture. They are truly friendly, smiling people. They're some of my favorite colleagues to work with. And they all have different areas of research interest, and would be more than welcome to working with you on research projects, conferences, publishing, or to be a mentor. At least a couple of the people on this page have been and are still currently mentors of mine. And I will go to them when I have questions, academic curiosities, the standard things that you go to when you need advice. So some of the, excuse me, some of the features of our program is that it's designed for full-time professionals. It's designed with you in mind. We want to make sure that if you have an interest in this, that it's accessible to you. You know, you're not going to have to come to Wilmington if you don't want to. You're not going to have to buy a lot of books or software. You're not going to have to worry about timing. We're going to work with you on as many things as we can. So most of the people that are going to be in your classes in this program are going to be working at other community colleges, or they aspire to work at community colleges. But they're going to have a similar schedule to you. They're not going to be able to hop onto a Zoom at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They're not going to be able to spend 3 hours reading a book at 9 a.m. on a Monday. So we've put all these things in place to make it accessible and easy for all. One of the nice things about this program is it's project-based. So every class that you take, you're going to be able to have takeaways throughout the semester that you'll be able to use in your current role, and then continue to use them as you go into a role of higher leadership. We also have, and we'll show you the entire program, but we're excited about our summer session, bringing students and communities together, opportunities for you to network with people. But in the spring, we also have a different conference, a Challenging the Paradigm conference, and I've attended that face-to-face last year and online the previous year. And I love going to the Challenging the Paradigm conference. Dr. Henning, do you want to talk to us about the couple of conference opportunities?
Absolutely. So we have what I feel like is a great complement to the North Carolina Community College System Office Conference that is coming up very quickly this weekend. Actually, I'll be going down for that conference, but we have one that we host in April, and that conference is really about partnerships that lead to best practices, and also look at trends that we need to be aware of as far as our students. All of the conferences are themed. Challenging the Paradigm is the name of the conference, but we have themes such as partnerships that lead to an environment of diversity, equity, and inclusion. That was 2 years ago. Last year, we had partnerships that lead to success in a changing world. And this year, our conference is partnerships that lead to student success. And we're really wanting to focus on our students that are multivariate and marginalized students that may have food insecurity, that may have issues around homelessness. And we really are excited about that. Last year, we had our first one, even though we had it for 3 years last year, our first one face-to-face, and we had about 60 people in attendance. And we find that that's a really intimate number. And we have a lot of good presentations and ways in which we can interact with each other that other conferences can't. So we think this year it'll grow pretty exponentially, and already are getting some proposals for presentations. So that's important. If you want to talk about that, I'm here, I'm available. I'll have my phone number for you at the end of this, and would love to hear from you. So the design of this program is to complete it in one academic year. When we say we designed this with you in mind, we really wanted to be sensitive to the responsibilities that people have as full-time employees to community colleges and other institutions and organizations. We also knew that we needed to be sensitive to people with families and that had other responsibilities besides just going and doing a doctoral degree. So we designed this program to be one course. We have 2 intakes. This intake that we are talking with you about now will be for a January or spring semester. And when you start, you do the 4 classes over 1 year and you complete the program. And so the first course that you would take in this instance, you would take community college leadership, which is really understanding the overall responsibilities of leaders. What does the board do? What did the president do? What is it that happens when it doesn't go well? What do we do when it's dysfunctional? How do we navigate through that? So that's what this course is specifically geared toward. And then you go into summer session 1, which is a 4-week course. And in that course, we have the comprehensive community college. And so it's overall looking at where did it begin? Most people think that community colleges began in the 70s. Well, it actually began in the 1800s. And how did we get to where we are? What is the mission? How do we understand the overall responsibility of community colleges around workforce development and curriculum programs and the other initiatives that we have? So that's what that course is designed to do. We also have in summer session 2 teaching and learning in community colleges, and really helping you to understand what is a tier 1 course or program? What is a tier 2 course or program? How do we budget for those? How does the budgeting occur? What does workforce development look like? What does it look like when we have CCP? What is it that we, when we're looking at adult learning and continuing education? So really understanding the teaching and learning side of what community colleges do. And then last is the organizational strategies and resources. So really understanding what is strategic planning and what does it do? How do we budget for things that are new proposals? How do we use different techniques around governance, and what does that look like? And really understanding overall in this course, it's one of my favorite courses because I get to teach it, but it's one of my favorite courses because there's only one paper that's due. And that project is really about something you're passionate about, and how you can use that as a stepping stone or to leap off of to understand how to write new proposals and to get those funded. And it's a really exciting course. And we actually have had 3 people that have presented their papers and their projects to their senior administration and have had them funded. So that's kind of exciting to see that they can take away from the course and the courses and use it directly into your work that you're doing today.
So one of the first things that people ask about is, they love the program. It sounds amazing, but what's it going to cost? So you're looking at 12 credit hours, $295 per credit hour if you're an in-state resident. So you're looking at a little over $3,500 for the whole thing. Now, that's of course paid out per credit hour as you go on each semester. We also have a program called Teal Pay, where they'll take the individual semester's tuition and divide it by as many as 5 payments so that you can make payments over time. A lot of times students find that that makes things a little easier on the pocketbook. But as far as additional costs, you're not going to be buying a lot of books because a lot of the resources that you're going to read are available in an online format for you to read on your computer or your tablet. But we were very conscious in trying to keep costs low because money's tight. So the distance education tuition with the eliminated tons and tons of books, we really tried to make this a very cost efficient, affordable program for you. So how does the class work? Well, every other week is going to be online at a particular time during the week, the previous weeks. So what does that mean? That means let's just use the example on the screen. The first week is going to be synchronous. That means at 5 o'clock, you log in to a particular Zoom and you have class with people from all over at the same time. You're going to be having discussions with people from other counties, from other states. You're going to be sharing ideas. You're going to be discussing the readings and working on projects. The following week will be an asynchronous week. That means you don't log in at a particular time. You may be responding to a prompt. You may be giving a video or voice recording of your take on a subject matter. And then the next week, you go back to meeting at 5 o'clock.
Now that is during the fall and the spring semesters. So when we have a normal or a regular 14-week course. In the summer courses, session 1 and 2, you meet one evening a week during those 4 weeks. But again, it's 4 weeks of class. So in the summertime, we feel a little bit more comfortable doing that once a week, but we were doing Zoom before Zoom was actually a thing here. So way before COVID. And we do a great job of creating an engaged classroom environment and experience.
Yeah, to add to that exact point, Denise, before the lockdown from COVID, the university found out that the Watson College of Education had half of the distance education classes for the whole university right here in our building. And that benefits you because our faculty were comfortable and they were efficient in teaching in that online format. The next question we get a lot is transferability. And Dr. Henning spoke on this a little bit earlier, and how, yes, your classes will transfer if you're deciding that you want to get a master's or a doctoral. The nice thing is you can use this program, kind of dip your toes in the water before you jump into a whole program. Maybe you're like me and you hadn't been in a master's program for 10 years. Well, you dip your toes in, you get back into it, into the swing of things. You remember how to write, you remember the resources, you remember the scheduling things that work well for you, and then you jump into a full program. So again, this sounds great. How do I enroll? What do I do next? So to be eligible for this particular program, you need a bachelor's degree or higher, and you either need to currently hold a position with a community college or have aspirations to work for a community college. The admissions criteria are as follows. You must submit an application through our graduate school application. And we can pop a link into the chat for that direct application. We also are going to need transcripts from all of your prior university or college work, undergraduate and graduate. We also want to see your resume, your professional resume, CV. But the beautiful thing about this particular program that everybody loves is there's no GRE requirement. There's no testing to get in. Now, people then ask, well, what if I want to get a master's degree or a doctorate? Again, no GRE testing required for most of our programs at UNCW, at least in the Watson College of Education. If you wanted to get an MSA school administration, that one still requires a test. But with the exception of that, we don't like to do those tests, so we're not going to require them. They don't show us who would or would not be
Do well.
a good candidate to do well in the program, so we're not going to use them. So what you got to do is you got to go through our graduate school website and submit that application. You're submitting for the spring 2023, and those applications are good through the end of this month. So Halloween Day, if you're putting on your mask and you haven't submitted your application, take the mask off, hit that submit button, and then enjoy the rest of your evening. A lot of people ask if there are study abroad opportunities, and the short answer is yes. The long answer is that there's not a specific study abroad for this program, but there are great study abroads that you can be part of. For example, some of our masters and doc students are going to Ireland very soon. When is that happening, Denise?
They're leaving actually on the 13th, and they stay away for just 2 weeks. So it's a 2-week program. And they go there and they intern with different student development, different aspects of the Ireland system, and understanding different systems, which broadens our perspective as we work here in the United States.
Absolutely.
They have one in the Netherlands. Yeah, so
and they're all more and more.
They're 2 weeks. Yeah, they're 2 weeks.
Yeah, as different countries are open to having study abroad students, we open up more opportunities. So if you are interested in this program and a master's or doc program, do you need to reapply? Yes. So if you decide that after a semester of this program, you love it, but you want more, then you would submit a new application and go that route. How many of the courses from this certificate will transfer? All of them. They all transfer into our higher education master's program or our doc programs. So basically that decreases your master's or doc program by 1.5 semesters. And when should I apply? Is there a specific date? Today. Today is the day, or any day up until the 31st of this month. And then once you've submitted everything, we typically give you the all clear, the yes, you've been accepted into the program, or maybe not, but hopefully yes, within 24 to 48 hours. So historically, Dr. Henning and I have gone around to different community colleges in the area to do lunch and learn sessions like today. But the only problem with doing an online lunch and learn is there's no lunch. So how do we help you out with that? Well, we've partnered with Papa John's so that even though we can't give you a Papa John's pizza right now, you can use this code to get 25% off your next online order with Papa John's. So take a screenshot of this, write it down, SM25, and that way you can save a little bit of money on your next Papa John's pizza. And if Dr. Henning and I are coming to your school, it's the same presentation, but we would love an opportunity to meet you face to face, share a slice of pizza with you. We really do prefer the face-to-face interaction, but we know that not everybody can always come to us, and we know that we can't make it to every community college every year. So we always offer a virtual option. And we want to make sure that you have all of our contact information. If there was something from the presentation that you want to dive in deep on, if you want some extra details on a particular aspect of your career goals, we would love to chat with you about those. You can email us, you can call us, you can come and see us. And now's a good time for questions as well. If there's something that we said that you want to know more about, let us know. We'd be happy and encourage you to ask questions now. You know, in the past, the first couple of people to ask a question may have won a prize that we mail to them. Well, Dr. Henning, I guess we were just too good today. We answered all their questions ahead of time. If you are a little bashful like I am, you can pop your questions in the chat. We're happy to ask those questions for you. And Dr. Henning and I are gonna, we have a question. Monica, please unmute yourself, ask your question.
Uh-oh. Monica, we can't hear you, my friend.
Monica, it doesn't look like you're muted. I don't know why we can't hear you. If you want to pop your question in the chat, I'll be happy to read it aloud for everyone.
Yeah.
And Monica, also in a private message to Dr. Henning or myself, make sure you also include your t-shirt size and a mailing address where we can send you a Watson College of Education t-shirt. And while we're waiting on Monica, if anyone else has a question, feel free to pop it in the chat as well. All right. I know you're promoting.
Monica's question is, I know you're promoting the entire program. Is it possible to just take certain courses? Sure. If you wanted to just take, say, 2 courses, because that's the limit that you can take without being in the program, all you have to do is when you go into the graduate studies application is to register as a visiting student. You can take up to 6 credit hours as a visiting student in the graduate programs, and then that will help you to make a decision.
Thank you. I just went down the hall. See, I'm over here now. But I was just asking the question, as some of us already have advanced degrees and may not necessarily be looking for another entire degree. But some of the courses that you mentioned when you were speaking seemed of interest to me. So that's why I was asking that question.
Sure, that is a great question. I actually have had 3 PhDs that we've had 30 people complete the program, the certificate program. 3 of those have PhDs. And they decided they wanted to do the program because they wanted a specialization in community college leadership specifically. So it is open to anyone regardless. If you don't want to get the program or the certification, as I said before, you can take up to 2 credits or 2 courses, 6 credit hours as a visiting student. And then you can just enroll in the courses and take them just like any other student.
And thank you.
Yeah,
Monica.
and what was your name?
Sorry?
Your name?
Monica.
Oh, Monica. Oh, there you are. Monica, you're in the background. So Monica, I also need to get your, make sure you give me your size of your t-shirt and send me in just as a personal message on the chat, your mailing address to your home so that I can have it mailed directly to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, Monica, I will tell you, if you take 2 of the 4 classes in the certificate, you're going to want more. You're going to want that 3rd class. You're going to want that 4th class.
That's pretty true.
But just take it one step at a time. And if you decide you do not want the certificate, the 2 classes will still give you so much value that you can use in your day-to-day. But if history repeats itself, I would imagine you're going to want the whole thing.
Yeah, and one of the things that I can share with you is that I'm very pleased that all of the courses are taught by community college professionals directly in the field. So it's not, that was a real key factor too in the development of our EDD program and community college leadership. So the advice that we've received from the committee is that it be people that are actually from the field that actually work in community college or have experience and a lot of experience in community college. So Juanita, I got your message. What question did you want to ask my friend? And then we'll go to Colleen.
Monica had already asked the question I was thinking about. So thank you, Monica, and thank you for answering.
And Juanita, I need you to send me your in the private email, your mailing address, and I'll make sure that your shirt gets mailed to you. Colleen, how are you?
Hi, so I have a question. So when you start the cohort and the option to start in January, is that like January, the first semester, January, I guess January 4th, something like that, when spring semester start, and then you'll go into the summer, 2 summer sessions, and then you'll conclude in the fall?
That's
Yes,
right.
ma'am. That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so summer session 1 is 4 weeks, and then you have about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then summer session 2 is 4 weeks. And then you have pretty much the whole month of August, or, that time in between that last week of July and before we start classes again.
And class will start again in September, right?
Yes, ma'am. And so January, well, they actually start in August for
Right.
us. So in January, I don't remember what day we start, but we usually start like the second Tuesday after the first.
Okay.
Okay. Somebody
And
else?
one more question.
Yeah.
So it just said the time. So is it a certain day of the week that we meet? Like
Yeah, we generally meet on Thursdays for the fall and spring semester. So I
Okay.
try to make sure that they're always on Thursdays, so they're not falling on Mondays, because we all know what Mondays are like. And then it's just, so
okay.
trying to get to the week. But on in the summertime, they actually are on Tuesday evening.
Okay.
All right. So, Colleen, can you send me your t-shirt size and your in a private direct message to me, your t-shirt size and your mailing address at home, and we'll send off a shirt to you.
Okay.
Thank you, Juanita. I appreciate it.
Some more questions directly.
Oh, that's fine. No worries. Thank you, Monica. I appreciate it. Any other questions, y'all? I really appreciate it. So how many are from Cape Fear Community College? Monica, you're from Cape Fear? No?
Jen.
I am, yes.
Jen, oh, so Jen, we're going to be there actually on Thursday of this week.
Oh, very good.
We're doing Aspiring Leaders there. So for those of you that don't know, Aspiring Leaders is a 2-day leadership development summit for people who have career trajectories that want to be in community college leadership. So it's basically designed to give you some skill sets and things that will kind of put in your toolbox to use as you are achieving some of those career goals. So Jen, we do have a seat available if you want to come.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just let me know.
What time? I teach on Thursdays.
Well, it's all day on Thursday and Friday. So it starts at 8 o'clock. We have breakfast and we spend the whole day together. It's a true professional development.
Oh, I teach on Thursdays and Fridays in the fall. Is that something you do once a year here?
Yeah, well, no, we don't do it there once a year. We do it 3 times a year. So we can do 3 community colleges a year. We usually do 2 in the fall, 1 in the spring. We only have seats for 30 people. And we invite other community colleges that are close. So we have a waiting list right now.
Oh, wow.
Cape Fear Community College was on the waiting list for 1.5 years. So.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe
Yeah.
the spring would be, I'd have more luck just because.
Yeah, you can always come to another one. Carteret Community College is having one in November, and then we're having one at Rowan Cabarrus
Okay.
in the spring. But if you know Bethany Ferguson, do you know Bethany?
I don't.
No. Okay. She teaches in sociology, but she's someone that you could talk to about it. Anyway, I would love to see you. I'll be in the Union Building.
I would be really interested in attending. It sounds great.
Awesome. All right. Is there any other questions, y'all? No.
Historically, we've had people that have had questions and didn't ask them during the session. So Dr. Henning and I will be available to you after the fact. I've just popped my email address into the chat. Dr. Henning can pop hers into the chat as well. But historically, we don't answer all the questions that you have at these sessions. So feel free to reach out to us at a time that's convenient for you. October 31st will be here before you know it. So maybe you're thinking about the program, but you're not really sure. Go ahead and just put your name and your address, the little things in the application. That way, if you decide and it's close to the 31st, you're not really rushed to try to fill everything out. It's just a matter of hitting a submit button. And let us
So-
know what we can do to help you out.
So Tamika, how you doing? You doing okay?
Doing all right.
Good, good. Monica, my goodness, it's so good to see everybody. All right, well, we try not to keep you any longer than we have to. It's good to see your faces, and those of you that showed them and those of you that didn't, it's good to hear your voices. So,
Absolutely.
and
I
if
wish
you need
you-
anything, just give us a shout.
I wish you all a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week, and I hope to see and hear from you all very soon. Take care.
Thank you,
Thank you.
bye-bye.
Bye.